Hope it works this time. All right, so just start standing with the feet comfortably under the hips and toes pointed forward, lifting tall through the spine, through the back of the head, the heart. Let the shoulders relax, let the tailbone relax down. And we'll just start with a little breathing and grounding in here. So as we inhale, we're going to lift our heels. And if you want, you can lift your arms as well. And we'll exhale back down. So taking this few breaths to really start to breathe more fully and deeply. Inhaling as we float the heels up and exhaling. Breathe. Lifting up as high as you can go. Lowering down. One more. Continue with that deep breathing as we lift our right knee and stretch our left arm up. And then switch. Left knee, right arm. Just do a little side to side reach. And lift. Good. Stretch. Opposite arm and leg. Try to be a little more graceful than I am. At least I can sort of do it. All right, and then bringing our arms down by our side. We're just going to bring our hands behind our ears here on the occiput. You're going to lift your heart as you open the elbows. And then as we exhale, we're going to round our upper back and just let your elbows come towards each other. So think of just moving our shoulders and upper spine here. So inhale, lift, and exhale, round. We'll stretch in your neck and the back of the shoulders. Inhale, open, exhale. Good. One more time. Good. Good. And then lifting back up. We're going to inhale tall, exhale, twist to one side and center. Inhale, exhale, twist and center. Two more. A little twist to the back here. And coming to center, releasing the arms. Let's hula hoop our hips. And just kind of let everything go. All our joints move. Nice and big. You can have your hands on your hips if you want, or anywhere feels right for you. And then the other direction. Cracking, might get a little cracking. It's always good. And then coming back to center, having our arms out, we'll lift tall and make sure that we have our ribs over our pelvis. So kind of pulling the ribs back slightly and then side to side. So feeling like somebody's pulling your arm. Shoulders are relaxed, but somebody's pulling your rib cage one way and then the other. We'll circle. So wherever you are reaching to the side, go ahead and bring it forward, side and back and around. Circling the ribs. And other direction. Try to move the rib cage a little bit separate from our hips. Okay, and then go ahead and come center and relax your shoulders. So we'll come to the end of our mat or wherever you want to be. Inhale here as we exhale, letting head, arms, shoulders relax, and we're going to roll down and hang here. Maybe your hands are on the mat, maybe they're not. Let your knees bend and straighten. If you need to keep your back flat, you can always put your hands on top of your thighs and do it that way. If you need to stay lifted a little higher or keep your back flat, you can modify it. And let's bend one knee and then the other, one and the other, feeling that hip shift. Stretch. A little twisting of our pelvis. And then we'll go ahead and walk our hands out away from our feet into tight down dog and spreading the fingers wide, lifting the tailbone. Stretch our heels down and letting our body kind of shift around. Or whatever feels good to you. Maybe shift forward and back. Good. And just lifting the tailbone, reaching the heels into the mat. And then we'll walk our hands a little farther away for more of a high plank or all the way into plank if you, whatever feels good to your body, doable right now. Taking a couple of deep breaths. And then coming onto the mat. So bringing these under you, coming around. We'll go ahead and come onto our back. Lining up our feet, our heels with our sits bones, arms by our side. Great. Take a deep breath here. And as we exhale, curl the tailbone up and start to peel the spine off the mat into a bridge. Adjusting feet, relaxing shoulders. Pressing the pelvis up. And then we'll melt the spine down on our exhale, one bone at a time. And then inhale at the bottom, exhale, peel off the mat. At the top of our bridge, we'll bring our arms over our head, just relax them on the floor, pressing the pelvis up and exhaling down. So feeling our spine just sort of stretching away from our arms. And then inhale, arms back down by your side. Exhale, peel off the mat. And taking our arms over our head again, letting them relax. Good. And exhaling down, one vertebra at a time. You can just leave your arms here over the head, maybe widen them a little bit more so they can just hang out somewhere that feels comfortable. Let your knees sway over to one side, and your legs can be together or not, whatever feels good to you. And then we'll sway over to the other side, keeping our shoulders down. And then again, just sway the knees over and to the other side. Good. And we'll sway them over again, and whatever leg is on top, just kind of lift that knee a little bit and extend your legs straight out. So just lengthening the leg away from you as you reach your opposite shoulder into the ground. And then bend that knee. We'll lift our knees up, sway them the other direction. And the knee that's on top can lift a little bit and just straighten that leg. And breathe, keeping our shoulders on the ground. Go ahead and bend the knee and lift the legs back up. And then we're going to clasp our hands behind our head. Here, inhaling as we lengthen and lift our elbows. Exhale, press head and shoulders up. And as we stay up here for a couple breaths, just check in with your neck, making sure that it's staying relaxed and your hands are supporting your head and neck, sinking that navel a little bit in as we exhale without tensing, right? And then go ahead and lay back down. Your hands here. So we'll inhale our knees over to one side, and then on our exhale, pressing head and shoulders straight up, and then lifting the knees back to the top and laying back down. So we'll inhale to the other side. Exhale, press head and shoulders up and bring the knees back to the top and lay back down. Good. So again, inhaling over, exhale, press up and lift knees while you're up here and lay back down. Inhale over, exhale straight up, lift the knees and lay back down. Good. And relax here. Open your knees apart so we feel our legs relax, our hip open a bit. Good. And then we're going to exhale, press head and shoulders up a little bit off the mat. And take a little side bend. So one elbow goes toward that same side knee, and then back to center, and a little side bend the other way. And back to center and side bend. So we kind of stretch our side a little bit. We're just having our head and shoulders a little bit lifted off the mat. Side bend. Then when you come back to center, relax down. Good. And we'll lift the knees back up. And we'll bring our right leg up, bring that knee up, and put your right hand on top of that thigh with your left hand on top of your right knee. So we're going to inhale. Here, as we exhale, press hands into leg, legs into hands, leg into hands, and then relax. Good. Every time you exhale, we're going to press hands and leg against each other. Right? So feeling your trunk muscles engage here. And your arms. Good. And then we'll put that foot down, lift the left leg up and switch hands. So we're going to inhale here. As we exhale, press against each other. Inhale, relax. Exhale, press. Inhale, relax. Exhale, press. Good. One more time. Great. And then we'll bring that foot onto the mat and go back to your right leg, your first leg. Put the left hand on the inside of the knee. Curl up and slide your right hand along the outside of your calf, right? So we're kind of reaching toward the ankle. And we're going to inhale. As we exhale, we're going to press both hands into our leg at the same time. Good. Inhale, relax. Exhale, press. Inhale, relax. Exhale, press. And as you press, you might feel yourself lift up just a little bit higher. And then go ahead and relax your head and shoulders down. Bring that foot down and left leg up. Right hand on the inside of the knee. Curl up, sliding your left hand along that calf toward the ankle. Inhale, exhale, press. Hands into the leg simultaneously, right? Good. You might feel yourself just lift a tiny bit more as you do that. Good. Go ahead and lie back down and bring that foot onto the mat. And then we'll switch back over to our right leg. So again, left hand on the inside. We're going to curl up as we slide our right hand down. Stretch your left leg out for single leg stretch. So every time we bring our knee in, we're going to press hands into the leg, and then we're going to switch to the other leg. So exhale as you switch, press, 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 keeping that leg strong, reaching out. Good. And then wherever you are, go ahead and bring your hands behind your head. And we'll go into that little twist crisscross. So elbow to opposite knee, come center, elbow to opposite knee. So just kind of looking back and up as you switch. Twist side to side. Reach through those legs. Come center on this one. Relax your head and shoulders down. Hug your knees. Rock your body around. Ah. I think we're waking up now. Okay, so we're going to bring our legs up here and put them together in a bent leg position. Arms out from our shoulders on the ground. And then taking your legs over to one side on your inhale, anchoring your shoulders, exhaling back to the top. Your knees can be as close to your body as feels comfortable to you. Inhale to the other side and exhale back. Inhale to the side and exhale back. Good. Side to side, twist. Twisting is the name of the game today. Now, if you want, you can straighten your legs and do it, or straighten them a little more and do it if you want to add more weight to that twist. Lifting up on the exhale. And we'll take it into a little circle, a little corkscrew it's called. And you take your legs to the side, away from us, around to the other side, and back to the top. And I like to reverse my circles every time, so you can do that as well. Or you could go in the same direction and then reverse the circles. Also, some people like to do that, but just make sure you're going both directions. Breathe. Maybe growing your circle a little bit more as you go. Maybe not too far, though. Don't take the legs too low. Shoulders relax. And then whenever you come to the top, go ahead and bend your knees, open them, grab hold of the feet, or wherever you can, grab hold, and just opening our hips here. We're going to rock side to side, a little happy baby kind of rock on our back. Massaging our back. If you like, you can open your legs into more of a straddle, just kind of widen the legs apart more and then we'll come center and bring our feet together. Holding onto our left foot, we'll stretch our right arm and leg out, flexing the foot, reaching through that side. And then bringing our right side together, we'll stretch our left side out, flexing the foot and stretch. And then both arms, both legs are going to reach away from each other. And just do a little side to side reach as you flex the feet, stretching one side and the other. Always feels so good in the morning. Reach and reach and reach. Good. And then we'll relax everything and open our legs a little bit wider, arms into that wide V. Take one hand over to the other, stretching across in that diagonal. We spiral towards our hand and keeping your leg reaching away, foot flexed. And then coming back onto our back and opening out to the other side, spiraling over. Good. And then bringing ourselves onto our back, we'll bring our legs together and bend the knees, so feet on the mat. And go ahead and slide your arms down by your side, somewhere it's comfortable. Bring your feet close in. Take an inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to press our hips up into a bridge Good. And then just whatever leg wants to start first, you're going to lift that knee up. Right? And just kind of extend your leg out at an angle. Just straighten the leg and then bend it back in. And extend and bend in. And extend and bend. Just whatever angle your leg wants to go at. And then when you bend it, put your foot on the ground, lower the hips down, take a little moment. Inhale, exhale, press the hips up again. And whatever leg didn't go up comes up, pull that knee in and reach out. Inhale in, exhale, extend it out. Inhale in, exhale, extend. Your hips are however high they are off the ground, right? Doesn't matter. And then when we bend on this one, we put our foot back on the ground. Go ahead and press your hips up. Inhale, and then melt the spine down on your exhale. Good. And then we're just going to curl up and reach our arms. Maybe grab hold of your legs if you want to help yourself up. Straighten the legs, come up to sitting. And sit with your legs extended out from our hips. Lift the sits bones. And we're just going to bring ourselves forward into a little stretch here. So making sure the pelvis comes forward first and just relax over the legs. Everybody's different in the flexibility department, but if you're able to reach your feet and you can grab hold and sort of pull them back towards you, gives you more stretch in the back of the calves, especially. Good. And then sit up and bring the legs into a diamond so their feet are together and your legs are in a loose bend. And just stretch forward over your legs this way. Such a nice stretch for our sacrum, especially in the outer hip. And then we'll come up and we'll just turn towards one knee, whichever one you want to start with. And making sure the sits bones stay on the ground, just bringing your head towards that knee, stretching over that leg. It just a little stretch to the side. And then coming up into the other side, making sure our sits bones are rooted. We're going to stretch over this leg. Good. And go ahead and come up and we'll lift our knees up in this bend, half bend. Bring the arms forward. So we're going to inhale, relaxed shoulders. Exhale, as we roll back, we're going to open one arm out and just follow it back. So we add a little twist to our roll back and then sweep it back forward as we come up. And then the other side, as we round back on our exhale, sweep that arm back and sweep it back up. Good. So lifting and then curling tailbone under, rounding back and coming up. Keeping our shoulders relaxed, taking just this side to side twists. Only 50 more. No. Make sure your legs stay pretty stable still as you twist. Great. And then we come back to the top. We're going to straighten our legs out and do a little around the world with our roll-ups. So that just means we take a little bit of a twist to one side. So bring your arms forward and just lean a little bit to one side, not too much, just enough so that when you exhale back, You feel that side coming onto the mat a little bit more. And then we bring our arms up around to the other side. Exhale up that side. We're not pulling ourselves off center, right? And stretch over the legs. And then lift up and take it the way you came up. You're going to go down that way. And feel free to bend your legs if you want, or keep them straight, whatever feels good to you. Bend and straighten, doesn't matter, whatever feels good. And then coming to a little stretch, and then coming back the way you came, down that side and around, and breathe. And stretch over the legs and coming back the way you came. A lot of trips around the world. You might see some sights. Come up that side. Try not to tense the shoulders. Good. And then when you feel even on both sides and you come to the top, you can stay there. And we're going to bring I'm going to bring my mat over a little bit because it's walking away. We're going to bring our right leg up. We're going to roll onto our back and give this leg a stretch. So you can kind of bend and straighten your knee. You can grab a strap if you like as well to help you. Really stretching that other leg long. Move your foot as well if you like to point and flex the foot or roll the ankle around. Massage like I'm doing. I need a massage the foot. There we go. And then we'll get our leg as straight as we can. Bring our arms out from our shoulders on the ground and just open your leg out to the side. Try to keep that other hip anchored. And then take it up and across the body, keeping our shoulders down and lifting it up and open out to the side. And exhale up and across the body, rolling off of that hip and lifting back up and opening out to the side. And lifting it up. And we'll take a few circles. So we're going to take it across the body, sweep it down towards our other leg, around, and land at the top. Good. Inhale across. Exhale that leg all the way around. Nice, big, slow circles. Letting our hips and low back get a little movement and relaxing our shoulders. And then we can reverse at the top, other direction a few times. Feel free to bend the knee as much as it needs to. And then when our leg comes to the top, we'll hug our knee in, give it a little stretch. And then grab behind your thigh and lifting our head and shoulders, we're going to straighten our leg and climb up the leg. So climbing the tree, the leg up as much as possible, climbing all the way up. Yeah, and hug your leg in towards you. Give it a big stretch. And then we'll take our opposite hand. So if this is your right leg, you take your left hand to the outside of your foot. Other arm behind us, and we're going to go into a twist here. So looking back. And then coming back around, facing that leg, we're going to hug it in, lift it up a little bit, stretch it towards us, and lower back to the mat. And take hold of the left leg or whichever leg you didn't do. Lift it up, come onto the back. Into the stretch here. And really try to anchor that other leg and stretch it down so you get even better stretch. You can move your foot, you can bend and straighten, whatever feels good to you. Move that foot around. You can also curl up toward your knee, right? That's always a nice way to get a little better stretch. And then we'll release our leg, arms out from our shoulders. And then opening that leg out to the side, bring that other hip down, and then lift it back, take it across the body, and lift it up, move over a bit, and open out to the side, and lift it up, and across the body, lift, and open again out to the side, however far it goes. Exhale, lift, and we'll go into a few circles. So we'll take it across, sweep it down, nice and big, circle around and back. And feel free to keep your knee as bent as it needs to be. It might even be in a 90-degree angle, right? Whatever you need to do is more about the hips, the low back. And we're going to reverse at the top. Go the other direction a few times. Good. And when our leg comes to the top of our circle, hug your knee in, give it a stretch in. And then hands behind our thigh, we're going to climb our tree. So pressing leg into hands to help you up, climbing toward our foot. And when you get to where as high as you can on your tree, hug your leg towards your belly, belly towards your leg, give it a good stretch. And taking the other hand to the outside of your foot, this hand behind us, we're going to twist to the back. Your leg might be bent. That's okay if it's in a bend. If it doesn't straighten all the way, you'll still feel that stretch. And then coming back around, hug the leg in again, one more time, give it a stretch towards you. And then we'll lower down to the mat and bring your legs into a straddle, however wide you want to be, but not too wide. And then stretch forward. Reach your arms forward. And sit back to tall with our arms out for a little saw sequence here. So we're going to lift tall as we inhale and rotate, anchoring our sits bones. Reach across for that pinky toe up, outside of your foot, and then lift up on your inhale, rotate, and reach across. Lift up and rotate. And this time on the diagonal, arms going to reach up flat back. Arms are reaching away from each other. Good. And back to center, nice and tall, and rotate. Reaching out flat back. And lifting up back to center. Inhale, taking our hands behind us, hands onto the ground. We're going to let that leg lift up as we do a little push up, lower down and press up, and come back around to center. Inhaling and over to the other side. Hands come behind us, lower down, press back up, and center. And we'll do that sequence again. So you're going to rotate, reach across for your outside of your foot, and lift up, rotate, reach across. Anchoring our hips, and lift up, rotate, reach on the diagonal. So flatten the back and lift. and back to center. And reach out on the diagonal. And back to center. And twist, hands come behind us. And bend the elbows as you lower. And press back up and around. And rotate to the back. Elbows bend, lower down, press up, and back around to center. And then when you come to the top, relax your arms. You roll your shoulders or give them a little shake. And we're going to be bringing ourselves onto our side, one side, whichever side you want to start with. So take off my layer now. Getting a little bit warm. Okay, so just laying on the arm with your knees in a nice kind of comfortable bend. Torso in a straight line. The leg that's on top, kind of bring your leg behind you, grab hold of your foot or your ankle if you can. Give it a little stretch to the back. Just pull back as you press your pelvis forward, right? A little stretch there. And then release. And we're going to just keep this leg in a bend and swing it forward and back. Swing it forward and back. And then we'll add a little circling to that. So swing it forward, back, lift it up and around, forward. Swing it back and forward and lift it up and around. So sweep it forward and back and lift it up and around. And sweep it back and then forward and lift it up. So we're alternating our circles. Forward, back, and lift and around. Back and forward and lift and around. Forward and back and lift. And this time when we bring our knee back behind us, we're going to reach it back and straighten it, reach our arm away from our leg. So stretching on the diagonal. And we'll lift our leg, lift our arm, switch. Arm goes back, leg goes forward. And then lift and switch again. Reach and lift and switch again. That's just alternating arm and leg reaching away from each other, up, and really getting a nice twist here as we move our leg and our arm. And then next time our leg goes to the back, arm reaches forward. But keep stretching arm away from leg and just let your back leg or that top leg float up and down, little touch down and lift, reaching it away from your arm, little movement. Good. And then let the leg bend and relax on your bottom leg. Good. We're going to press ourselves up to mermaid. So bringing our legs into as much of a mermaid as we can. If you can bend both legs, it's better. And put this hand on the hip. So we're just going to play with that hip movement here. So you're going to lift the hip and pull it back down. So kind of twisting and bringing the hip back, right? Seeing how much movement you can get, and as long as it's not painful. Make sure you're doing it carefully if you have hip issues. And you just want to kind of get a little movement there. Yeah. And our pelvis, a little twisting. All right. And then when your hip comes down, go ahead and take a side stretch. And then bring this elbow onto the mat. And our top arm comes up. We're going to open our chest to the ceiling, arm behind us. And then lift it up and thread through so that hand reaches through underneath our armpit. Stretch. And one more time, lift the arm, open to the back, the twisting to the back, and then lift and thread through. Good. And then we'll come up and bring our legs on top of each other. Just stack your legs, lift your rib cage and your arm, lift your hips if you can. Inhale, exhale, round through. And then inhale as we lift. Exhale, like you're hugging a ball or a tree or something. Nice and rounding that shoulder, nice and rounded. Lift. Good. And round. This time we'll lift and lower our hips. Bring our arm down. And come up and cross that top leg over your bottom leg. Press your hip into the mat. And if you like, you can stack your knees and just fold forward. Otherwise, hug your leg in towards you. Lift your spine and take a little twist to the back. Pressing hip into the mat. Right. And this bottom leg can be straight as well. So whatever feels good to you here, just a little bit of a stretch for that hip, which we like to do after we work it. Otherwise, we forget. And then we'll come on to our other side. So go ahead and bring yourself around so that the legs are in a comfortable bend and you're lying on your arm and a straight torso is a straight line. Good. And then lifting the top leg, grab hold wherever you can. If you're able to, roll the shoulder back and just kind of stretch that knee back as you press pelvis forward. A little stretch there. The front of our thigh, top of our thigh. And then we'll release and swing forward and back. Forward and back, really letting our hip some mobility here. And then we'll add a circle to that. So we'll go forward, back, up and around, and then back, forward, up and around, forward, back, up and around. Alternating our circles, forward, up and around, forward, back, up and around. Just letting it swing and circle. And the next time our leg goes back, we're going to stay reaching back, straightening that leg, reach top arm away from the leg, stretch. And then we lift our arm and lift our leg up and switch. And lift up and switch. So we're pivoting on this hip and switch. Doing a nice stretch as we reach away. And the next time our leg goes to the back, stay there, reaching our arm away from our leg and just let that leg sort of touch down, lift, kind of float up and down. Breathe. And relax your top leg on top of your bottom leg. We'll go ahead and press up to mermaid so that your legs can be in mermaid. Some days I can, some days I can't. Take a side stretch to begin with. Yeah. And then lifting up, we're going to put our hand on the hip here so you can feel that movement. So we're going to lift the hip and then twist it back down. So twisting one way and the other way. Our hip lift. It might not come all the way to the mat. That's okay. It's just the movement in that hip socket that we want, right? Just a low back. Good. And then next time, I think I might have reversed the order, but we're doing all the same. We're doing it the same thing. It just might be in a different order than the other side. We'll bring our elbow onto the mat and lift this arm. We're just going to open to the back, looking up, and then reaching that arm forward and rounding, thread through. And one more time, we're going to open, looking up, and thread that arm through. And then bringing our legs stacked on top of each other. We're going to lift the ribs, lift the hips if you can, arm up, and then rounding through as we exhale. Lift up, exhale. You can do this with your hips on the mat if they need to be. Okay. Good, one more. And lifting up, this time lowering the hips, lowering the arm, and coming up. Take a little hip stretch for that side if you want to stack your legs and fold forward. If you want to hug your knee in towards you, really press that hip down. Take a twist. Yeah, whatever hip stretch feels good to you. Right, and then we'll bring ourselves around to our all fours. So come onto our knees and spread the fingers wide. And just take an inhale, rounding, curling the tailbone under. On our exhale, we're just going to press hips back a little bit toward our heels, and then lift up and come into an arch. And then again, curling the tailbone, rounding, pressing back, and lifting up. And we're going to go ahead and continue into extension, straightening the legs, looking forward, back, knees, curl tailbone under, press back, and lift up into extension, a little back extension here. And again, curling under, rounding back. Good. Coming into extension. This time we'll stay in this extension here, and we're going to just turn and look over our left shoulder and back to center. Turn and look over your right shoulder. And back to center. And if you can, do it one more time each side, just a little twisty to the left, a little twisty to the right. And back to center, come up, curl the tailbone under, round the back, press back to your heels. Stay there for a moment, breathing, stretching our arms out. Good. And then we'll back onto our all fours. We're just going to take whatever leg is facing the screen. Go ahead and bring that leg out to the side and kind of circle it back and in and around. Just take it up, back, and in and around. And the next time we bring it down and in, we're going to bring that foot underneath us, right? So between the hands, let's go ahead and find our sort of 90-degree angle with both legs, lining up feet with hips. So we're not lining up our legs with each other. Just bring the arms into a goalpost here. So sitting tall, we're going to do a little twisting here. So inhale, and then on your exhale, go ahead and twist to that, toward that bent leg on the mat, and then back to center as you inhale, and then twisting toward your leg that's up and back, and twist, and back, and twist, and center. And bring your hands to the ground, and you can come into a lunge, either lifting your back leg off the mat if you want, or keeping it on the mat and the hand on either side of your foot. Take a little stretch in our lunge position. Yeah, hip flexor. So doesn't matter if you can't go into, if you're not used to lunging, just rock in and out of it. Doesn't matter. You don't have to force yourself into a lunge, right? You can just kind of ease into that stretch. Yeah, move it around. And then whatever leg is forward, hug that leg in with your hand and turn and look behind you and just add a little twist. Feel your hips with a lowering down, that back hip. And then coming back around, bring your leg back under you, your knee under you. And then we'll take our, whatever leg is to the back, lift it up and then circle it. And up and around, back. Kind of let your leg make a big circle. And we'll bring it forward and swing our foot between our hands and come up that 90-degree angle. So lining up feet with the hips, arms in a goalpost. Inhale. As we exhale, we rotate to the open side, right? Towards that leg that's down, knee that's down, and then back to center. Inhale, exhale, rotate. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. Inhale, center. And facing center, bring hands down. And again, you can have a high lunge with that knee lifted if you want, or just leave your knee on the mat. You can rock in and out of that lunge, kind of finding your stretch there. Whatever feels good to you on this side. This leg that's forward, we're going to hug that knee in towards us with our hand and take a little twist to the back. So looking back, feeling the hip that's in front kind of drop a little bit. And then back around to face forward, and we'll bring our knee under us. We're going to come onto our belly. Just bring your elbows under the shoulders to start with. And then with our palms facing down, we'll slowly straighten our arms, drawing shoulders down, just finding that extension. You might need to adjust your hands a little bit or adjust your legs. Yeah. And then we'll look at our belly, just kind of rounding our upper back, right? Getting that little stretch there. And look forward. Good. And then just letting your hands slide out over your head in a wide V position. You're going to keep your right hand on the ground. You're going to press up and lift your left arm and then take it out from your shoulder. Reach for that left foot, right? So kind of keeping that pelvis anchored and then lift it up over your head. Bring your hand back to the ground and then switch. Right hand floats up. Take it out from your shoulder. Reach for your foot and lift it up over the head and back. And then left hand, take it out, reach for your foot, follow it back, lift it up, and switch. Right, take it back, lift it up. Good. And then when you come back, arms both overhead, lift both arms, float them up off the ground, and you're just going to keep them lifted. Keep yourself floating off the ground, and then just switch arms. So you're going to reach one arm for your foot, one arm reaches overhead, and then switch and switch, kind of like a propeller or something. Switch and reach, reaching, one arm forward, one arm back, and switch, and switch. But anchoring our pelvis, right? So we're doing a little side to side bending. Good. And then both arms overhead, bring your hands under your shoulders, relax down. And then we're just going to lengthen head and chest out and up, press into the hands to come all the way up and onto our knees and stretch back to our heels. Right, and we'll go ahead and bring ourselves around for one more fun little core work exercise called teaser. Okay, so we're going to bring our hands under our thighs and lift tall. As we exhale, we're just going to let our low back sort of curl around and back, right, with our hands holding onto our legs. And then lift one leg, lift the other leg up. Good. And then see if you can kind of bring yourself into a little bit more of a balanced place. Just find your balance here, whatever that is for you, and let go. Right? And we're just going to take our arms over to one side, and then we're going to lift them up. Think of drawing a figure 8. Take them over to the other side, sweep them around and lift them up. So we're just kind of making this figure 8 sort of movement with our arms. And side to side. You can straighten your legs if you feel like that works for you. Right? If you want to make it a little more challenging. Good. And then we're going to come center and grab hold of your legs. Pull the knees towards you. Put your feet down. Good. And then let's go ahead and just sit in a diamond with our feet together. And just take a little stretch forward over our legs. Again, relax your hips, relax your legs. And go ahead and bring yourself sitting. Great. Thank you all for coming. This grand finale class for a while anyway. I'm going to hit the record button.